So what I want to do now is to refer you back to the laws of indices. And what we saw was if we had something like 2 squared times by 2 cubed, then we understood that the 2 squared meant 2 times 2, the 2 cubed meant 2 times 2 times 2, and so we're multiplying those together. So actually we have 2 to the power of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And what we then did was we generalized that to then say, well, if we've got b, so some number to the power of x, and we multiply that by some number to the power of y, as long as these two numbers are the same, then I can add the indices. So b to the x times b to the y was b to the x plus y. So another example of this would be something like if I had 5 to the 7 and I was multiplying that by 5 to the 8, then this would be 5 to the power of 7 plus 8, which is 15. Okay, because I'm multiplying them together. So what we're going to want to do is use this rule to now multiply algebraic terms together. So obviously if I had 3 and I was multiplying that by 5x, then I don't really need to use this law of indices, because it's quite straightforward that I would have 3 lots of 5x, which is 15x. Now, how have I done that? Well, I've done 3 times the 5, and here I've just got, well, 1 lot of x, haven't I? Okay, so 3 lots of 5 makes the 15, and then you've got 1x. So the way to really think about this is to look at the two terms that you have, and first of all, multiply the numbers that are at the front. Now remember, we refer to those as the coefficients. So multiply the coefficients together first to make the 15, and then you want to multiply the algebraic terms together. Now, that's not a very complicated example, so let's ramp it up a little bit. Let's change this up to being 3x times by 5x. So not that much harder. Here we have the 3 times the 5, so we're going to multiply the coefficients together first to make 15. And then we have x times x, so we deal with multiplying the x's together next. So x times x will be x squared, because this is x to the 1, and that's x to the 1, and so we have 1 plus 1 makes the squared. So let's make it a little bit more interesting. What if we had 3x cubed times by 5x to the 4? Well, first of all, we'd multiply the coefficients together. 3 times 5 makes the 15. And then x cubed times x to the 4, well, that would be x to the power of 3 plus 4, which is 7, using our law of indices. Let's make it a little bit more interesting. What if I had 3x squared y times by 5x to the 4 y cubed? Well, now we have the 3 times the 5, so we're going to multiply the coefficients together first. Then we have x squared times x to the 4. So notice how I'm focusing on the x's first, and then I'm going to focus on the y's. So I look at each letter independently. So the x squared times the x to the 4 will be x to the 6. And then we have y times the y cubed, which is y to the power of 4. 1 plus 3 is 4. So the way that you approach this when you are multiplying terms together is to multiply the coefficients together first, then multiply the x's together, then multiply the y's together using your law of indices. Okay? And that makes sure that you get the correct answer at the end.